Welcome to the Silhouettes of Success podcast with your host, successful entrepreneur, broker, and business mentor, Amber Weitzer. Because success comes in all shapes, sizes, and styles, the Silhouettes of Success podcast is shining the light on industrious women with a collection of curated conversations of intentional inspiration designed to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, feed your soul, and gift you with actionable insights directly from inspirational, everyday women who've shown tenacity, grit, and grace, having taken on the challenges in their lives and business and won. Remarkable, down-to-earth, and relatable, Amber and her guests will share with you uplifting and extraordinary real-life success stories, motivational ideas that just might help spark something within you. With the deepest desire to serve you, help you grow so you can begin to shine the light that will illuminate your very own silhouette of success. So, let's get to it.
Hello, and welcome to the Amber Weitzer podcast, Silhouettes of Success. Our VIP featured guest was born in Madrid, Spain, of Cuban descent, has been an award-winning photographer for 7 years, namely with Portrait Masters in Maternity and Contemporary Portrait categories. She is a wife of a real estate entrepreneur, mother, and has 2 fur babies. She has a passion for music, fashion, art, and notably launched a solid gold, unrivaled 40 over 40 project, a portrait experience for 40 women over the age of 40. She is on a mission to photograph as many women as she can. So please help me welcome Anna Lanier of Anna Lanier Portraits. Hello, Anna.
Hi, Amber. How are you? Thank you for the great introduction.
Yes. Well, thank you for taking time and sharing your story with us, or I say a snippet of.
Yes, it would be a snippet.
Right. So, oh, milady, so excited that you are joining us today. It's so exciting. Looking forward to hearing and learning more about you.
I am excited to share.
Excellent. All right, Anna, we usually kick it off by helping to illustrate the shaping of your silhouette of success by allowing you to share a little bit about yourself, your background with the audience. So the stage is yours, my lady.
All right. Well, what can I say? I started on this photography journey about 7 years ago. I had a full-time corporate job for 16 years, and I had gotten to the point where I was a little burnt out. And I was actually, I don't think even realized that at that point I was kind of searching for something. And I had no idea that photography was even something I could remotely do or have any kind of ability to do. But my husband, we had just gotten married and we'd gone on our honeymoon. And I had just a regular little point and shoot camera, and I was taking crazy amount of pictures. And that Christmas, my husband bought me a camera, an actual more professional camera. And I remember thinking, oh, well, this is interesting. What am I going to do with this? And he said, well, I remembered that you had mentioned wanting to have a better camera when we were on our honeymoon. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I mean, that was kind of in the moment. Um, at that time, I was in the middle of it. And he said, well, I didn't know what to get you. You're kind of hard to shop for. So I got you a camera. So I thought, okay, well, let me see what I can do with this. And at the time, my daughter was, I think, 9 years old. So I just kind of started taking pictures of her, and I enjoyed it. So I thought, well, let me take a class. Let me get some instruction on how to actually use this camera. And in that process, I just discovered that I had this passion for it. And at that point, obviously, I still wasn't even anywhere near thinking I could do it as a profession. It was really just a hobby. But had people on Facebook, friends, messaging me saying, oh my gosh, I saw the pictures you took of your daughter. Would you do a shoot for my family? And that's kind of what started. I was like, well, really? I'm not a photographer. I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. But it kind of put the bug, like, this might be something. There might be something here. So I started trying to educate myself, and that's kind of how it started. And now fast forward 7 years and here I am. Just sometimes I still pinch myself when I walk in my studio. I can't believe I actually have a photography studio. It still seems very surreal. But
Oh my
that's kind of my
God.
story of how I got started.
Oh, so exciting. So there's a lot to, I think we could parse out in that, but I want to tell the audience, yes, I pinch myself when I walk into her studio.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, most amazing experience ever. And we'll talk more in depth on that. But with your permission at the end in the resource section, um, I would like to also add, because we'll always add your links and contact information for the audience, but I want to add on my Google review, because to me it's just so monumental what you do for women. And so with your permission, I'll add that in there, because I want everybody to understand exactly not only your talents, but you and what you help us do, and where you help us achieve and feel and vibe and all these amazing things. So,
Yeah, I definitely, in this process, like I said, when I first got started, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know if I wanted to be like a wedding photographer or events and I've kind of tried a little bit of everything. And then I discovered a photographer just in researching. Her name is Sue Bryce. And when I saw her pictures on her Instagram, it was like, I don't know how to say it, kind of like just this like awakening moment. Like something happened just when I saw her pictures. Like I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to photograph women. And I want it to be about not just taking a picture, not just them coming into my space and taking their picture and that's it. I wanted to create a safe space for women to come in and feel pampered and have like a full makeover with professional hair and makeup. And I wanted them to feel empowered by this process. So for me, the reward is it's not just taking beautiful pictures. It's more of what I'm told by my clients after the process. It's very, very rewarding.
I can I can only imagine that. It's just so awesome. Going back to when you were sharing your story, what a complete blessing and gift in disguise from your husband, and then turning, and you are the epitome of what we hear about, turning your passion from a hobby into a profession, and that others shared what they saw in your work with you that gave you that continued momentum to pursue it. What
I,
a
I
gift.
have an
So many gifts.
I have an incredible support system. I would not have done what I did without my husband. He's just an incredible person and so supportive and pushing me when I needed to be pushed because like I said, I had the corporate job and I had what I thought was security, the steady paycheck coming in. And I teetered on that line for 4 years. For 4 years, I did this in my living room with minimal space just on the weekends. And it got to the point where he said, you need to make a decision. You need to either submerge yourself in this and quit the corporate job and take a chance, or scale back on this because it was getting to the point where it was affecting the entire household.
Mhm.
So he's everything to me as far as
Yeah.
he's a huge part of how my life has changed in many ways.
Yeah, we've got to give him props here, because that's how I, of course, came to meet you too. He's kind of groovy, and he was your cheerleader or your advocate. I don't know if you'd like me call him a cheerleader, but he was in the realm that, of course, the real estate realm, where I knew him or met him, and then he was advocating for you. So what a treasure. What a treasure.
Absolutely, he's wonderful.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, let's transition a little bit. So, a day in the life, the alarm clock goes off if you use one. Some
I
people,
do.
yeah, do you? Okay. And the work or business day begins for you. What's a day in the life look like? We always like to kind of ask because it seems to be there's maybe two columns. I don't like to label or categorize, but sometimes we're either more structured or we're more of a spontaneous spirit. What works for you and kind of tell us why, some tips and tricks.
So, gosh, my life is so different in the mornings than what it used to be. I okay, my alarm goes off. I get up. I actually have a little bit of time to enjoy my morning coffee, whereas before I did not. It was just getting up, get ready, and go. On shoot days, for example, on the days I have actual shoots, I get up, I have my coffee, I get dressed, I come to the studio. I usually arrive an hour before my shoot, and I kind of take that time to center myself in the space. And I'm not going to say meditate, but just kind of take a moment in silence to just kind of get ready for my client. I get their wardrobe ready so that when they come in, everything is set up. I look through some inspiration pictures, maybe, or something along those lines, but I kind of get myself mentally prepared because I give 110% of myself to my clients. It's all about them on their day. So mentally and almost physically as well, I kind of have to prepare myself. So my shoots are about, gosh, in total, maybe 4 or 5 hours long. So I do that, and then I'm able to go pick up my daughter from school, get her home, start looking through my pictures. I mean, on my shoot days, it's pretty structured. On my what I call office days, I kind of fly by the seat of my pants on those days a little bit, just depending on what is on my to-do list. But it's just that's one of the amazing things of having the opportunity to own my own business, like the freedom that has happened. Whereas in the corporate job, I had to sit at a desk for 8, 9, 10 hours, live by email, thousands of emails. And now that's gone. And it's like, oh my gosh, like I don't ever want to do that again. So I can make my own schedule. I mean, it's just such a different life. Like I actually don't live for the weekends anymore. And what's happened, which is very interesting, I was actually talking to my husband about it. The weeks are going by so fast now because before, you dread that Monday and then you're just waiting for Friday and it feels like the week takes forever. And now it's like, oh my gosh, it's Friday again. Like it's just so freeing. So that's one of the things that I would encourage anyone who has a passion for something and has the ability to do it. Take the plunge because life is too short.
Oh, breath of fresh air. Just being next to you in your words and the story of doing that. We know how scary it can be,
Oh
and
yes.
and hopefully your words, if someone out there, one of our silhouettes doesn't have a support system like we do, that's encouraging, that could have been just you. Your words could have been and can be someone's support system to give that encouragement to, just go for it. It's so interesting that you just, and I'm a note taker. I was taking notes, and I stopped because you used both mental and physical. And my next question, and I'm staring at it because, again, to the audience, I have been able and fortunate enough to participate in your project. And I firsthand saw and experienced everything that you do. Not behind the scenes, not the before, and not the after all the hours. But my question was going to be, and it encapsulates the mental and physical. You invest so much of yourself mentally and physically, because it's not just sitting behind the camera and shooting. You are, doing the yoga poses.
Yeah, pretty
and
much. much.
everything, the ladder climbing, the this and the that and the full on energy. But then we look and we see, your success and again, the optics, but we don't always see the behind the scenes of everything that you go through and are enduring and doing to get to this success or this level you're at. Um, so we always say, maybe when we look at, someone, how does she do it? So submerging yourself, getting geared up, centering yourself, all of these great things. But what else could you maybe share too? Um,
Hmm.
with our audience about how do you do it? The support system too has got to be just
Oh,
invaluable.
yes. So I've got a wonderful team of hair and makeup artists that bring their incredible work to my studio. And they are definitely a huge part of what happens, the big transformation of a beautiful woman that sometimes may not see herself beautiful, but when she comes to my studio and gets hair and makeup by one of my amazing artists, it's transformative. And so the support system is definitely a huge part of it. It's just really interesting. I don't know how to put it into words, but I just feel like when I'm in it, when I'm taking the pictures, I'm just completely involved in that process, and I look at everything, all the details, your hands, your hair, the way your feet are pointed, all of it comes together, and I am exhausted afterwards. I'll be honest.
Hmm.
I try not to book shoot days back to back because I tend to need at least a day in between them to because I'm actually sore the next day, almost like I went to the gym. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, my legs hurt
Yes, I
and
know.
and my arms hurt." And
Yeah.
it's physically exhausting.
Hmm.
And it's just part of the process, but I love it. I mean, it's just
Hmm.
something I'm so passionate about. And when I get text messages from my clients after they've left their shoot and they tell me that was an incredible experience, thank you so much. I feel like a different person. I mean, that's what it's about for me. It's just providing that service to women that have never done anything like this. You put yourself in front of a lens and it's you have to be vulnerable to it. So I understand from their side too how scary it can be. And so it's just all part of the process, and I just hope I can do it for the rest of my life.
Oh, I that fire is there, so I have no doubt that that's not going to go anywhere for you. What would you say, um, perhaps if you can think of some or any or one positive adjustments have you made in your life or your environment to help support this passionate growth of yours and your dreams and your goals with your business?
Positive adjustments. Oh gosh. Um I don't know. I can say that I'm so much happier as a person just in general after leaving the full-time job. And it's kind of bittersweet because I absolutely loved my job for many years. And what happened was the company was bought by, a bigger company. It used to be a family-owned business. And just the whole dynamic changed. And after that I started feeling like I was just another number, basically.
Right.
And I was having anxiety. I was not feeling well physically. It was just getting to my breaking point. And since I started doing this full time, it's like I'm just a different. I'm a different person altogether. So the positive adjustment would be just now I'm able to spend more time with my daughter. I can pick her up from school. I can drop her off. It's just overall, I'm just a lot more. That's another thing. I am personally am a lot more of a positive person. where I had
Mm.
gotten into this mindset where everything was just negative, and it was because I was so unhappy. And now I am in a positive space. I only want positive people around me. I don't want any negativity. And when I start feeling that from other people, I'm like, okay, this is not the person I need in my space.
Mhm.
So that's what I would say is a positive adjustment.
Well, that's major. That's everything.
It is.
That's just, and it's again, okay, so the audience knows you did not receive a copy of my actual script, our interview script. Nobody ever does. I share sample questions, but my next question was
Am I
going to
reading your
be,
mind?
you are, yes. It was there ever a specific point in time, event, or key situation in your professional life that forced you to make a monumental shift in your business or career? If so, what was the result? And positive or negative, how did it help you grow? So, bam.
Well,
Oh,
I mean, so many things led
yeah.
to this, but I mean, I'll share with you and the audience. I had made a plan to quit the job. I had like a 3-month plan. I was scared to death, but I was with the support of my husband. I was thinking, okay, in 3 months I'm gonna do this. And then they let me go after 16 years. They told me they were eliminating my role in the business. And I remember calling my husband in tears, and he's always extremely positive person. And he says, "Well, did they give you a severance package?" And I said, "Well, yes. I mean, they gave me a pretty good severance." He's like, "Well, then they did you a favor."
Oh.
And I thought, "What? I got fired. Like, how do you turn that into a positive?" He's like, "Well, now you have a cushion. We have a cushion. So you start your business full time, and we've got something there, just in case." But ironically, that was a month before the pandemic hit. So
Mm.
all of that happened a month before pandemic. And then we had to shut down for about, what, 6 weeks or so. And of course, I was in a panic thinking, oh my gosh, this isn't even going to get off the ground before it fails. But luckily, as soon as we were able to open back up, the floodgates just opened. And I started just getting clients nonstop. So who knows if I would have gone through with the 3-month plan, because, I was afraid. And so that 3 months might have turned into, well, I need a little more time. Let's extend it to 6 months. So I feel like, I don't know, for lack of another thing to say, it was just, it had to happen that way. Like I got the push that I needed, and the push was to let go to be let go. So I would say that was a huge turning point, because I had that crazy fear that might have stopped me from actually going through with it.
So that would be, depending on how everyone believes, maybe a divine intervention.
Yes.
I don't know, a
God's
blessing,
God's
God's
plan.
work. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Again, yeah, depends. We're completely open to that, but yes, wow,
It just was meant to be. And that's like, now looking back, I think that's
yeah,
that's the push that I needed. Like, it was the higher power's way of saying, you're doing this whether you like it or not.
yeah.
So,
And my friend, you are doing it. I tell you what. But there's that nasty four-letter word, the word.
oh,
I do not like that word, and I fall victim to it, and then I punch back as soon as I, snap my fingers to myself. But that word, that fear, it just is
it's
debilitating. It's
paralyzing.
ah. Okay, well, yes. Okay, things are always in your favor. The positivity, being a happier person, going into maybe the next couple of thoughts, and then we'll take a quick sponsor break here. When do you feel your greatest sense of satisfaction?
Oh, absolutely, on reveal days. What I call reveal day is when my clients come in to see their finished pictures, and I meet with them for about an hour in my studio, and we go over 80% of the pictures I took of them. And when I see their response or their reaction to seeing themselves that way, that's my biggest reward. Getting paid to do it is obviously wonderful, that I'm able to, you know, have my income come from something that I love, but it's
Mhm.
really seeing the reaction and the happiness. And I've had several clients now that I've done a shoot with that have come back a year later,
Mhm.
and they've said, I did this a year ago when I was going through, something horrible in my life, like divorce and things like that, where they were kind of at their low point, and it made them feel so incredible that a year later they come back and they tell me I'm doing it again because I feel like I'm a different person from the first time we did this. And for them to come back and tell me I want to do this again because of how wonderful it made me feel, that is the ultimate reward for me.
You just gave me chills.
Oh, I get
Oh,
chills every time I get a text from someone that just says, like, you've basically changed my, and I'm like, me?
yeah.
How did I change? And they're like, you did. You have no idea what
Yes.
seeing myself that way. I never thought I could look that way. So it's
Yes.
very rewarding.
Yes. And it is layers deep what you help do for all of us. It is so many layers deep that um, I don't feel there's proper words sometimes to express that. So, okay, milady, where as a creative, do you, and you may have mentioned something earlier, but where do you turn to when you need inspiration?
Oh my gosh. Well, fellow photographers, so colleagues, definitely a huge one. It's interesting how in the photography community, everyone is very giving, and everyone's willing to share what they know and share tips on lighting and styling and things like that. And so there's part of the Sue Bryce community. So it turns out that Sue Bryce, who is now my mentor, she has a whole education program. So when I discovered her just in searching on Instagram, I immediately signed up for her classes. And I owe everything I know basically to her and her education. So that community that she's built is huge. So supportive, constant source of inspiration. With they share images they've taken, they share different lighting techniques. It's just a wonderful place to go, when even if it's to vent or talk about something even not photography related. It's become like a huge source of community and support. So I would say my fellow Subies, that's what we call each other. Um, that's
That's
the
cool.
place I go when I need help or support or inspiration. It's wonderful, wonderful group.
That's a cherished resource. And again, all roads continued as I'm listening to your story. There was a light in front of you on your path that you may not have known about. I tell you.
It's
Oh,
interesting because, like I said, I never would have thought I had any kind of creative ability. I've always loved anything fashion, art, music, anything creative I've always loved, but I never thought I would have any kind of ability for that. And recently, my mom shared with me that my dad had a huge passion for photography. My dad's passed. So she said, "Oh, your dad loved photography. He had a professional camera. He took classes." And I was like, "What? How come this is
wow.
the first time anyone's telling me this?" She's like, "I don't know. I just never thought to tell you." I said, "How could here I am doing this and wondering where did this come from?" And it turns out that it probably came from my
Wow.
dad.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that's interesting. Something I just learned recently.
How special. Again, it's all timing, timing.
Timing. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, because it maybe wouldn't have meant as much years ago. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, Anna, we're going to take a quick break to hear from this episode's sponsor, and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Is it time to sell your home? Build that dream home? Right size? Or are you ready to invest in real estate? Couture Real Estate Firm is a local female-owned independent brokerage laser-focused on services exclusively tailored to our clients' real estate goals. With our forward-thinking business model, we have a fully mobile, luxury real estate concept allowing convenience, flexibility, efficiency for our clients in style. Amber Weitzer, broker-owner of Couture Real Estate Firm, has over 20 years in the real estate industry and is a second-generation broker. She provides straightforward business practices, integrity, and intelligence with a commitment to a high-touch, consistent customer service experience. We take great pride in our reputation as a strong, referral-based brokerage. Discretion, tenacity, respect, and proactive business practices have earned Couture Real Estate Firm a loyal, repeat client business with a trusted global partner network. We strive for ultimate client satisfaction with successful results, doing it with class, consciousness, and a little avant-garde. In addition to serving our clients and vendor partners, we are extremely honored to be actively engaged in supporting the communities we serve by promoting small businesses, schools, and nonprofits. Real estate is direct sales business at its core, and we are highly trained sales professionals with the Mike Ferry organization, adding dimension to the industry. Passionate about customer service, dedicated to client satisfaction, and driven to achieve successful results for our clients. Call Couture Real Estate Firm today at 817-233-7239 to discuss your real estate goals.
All right, we are back. Okay, in respecting schedules, I'm keeping an eye on the time here, but we always like to ask our Silhouettes of Success VIP featured guests, because we all, I think, of a like mind in this nature where we are open to inspiring resources, expanding our minds, encouragement, growth, and education, just like you shared about your Sue Bryce community. Do you have any favorite books, resources, podcasts, mentors, or anything that you'd like to share with us? And if so, what makes it a favorite?
Well, definitely. Obviously, Sue Bryce is a huge source of my inspiration and education and support. So I would encourage anyone in the audience that is considering going into photography, or even if you she's a wonderful speaker, and she's got a ton of videos about self-worth and stepping out of that fear, that have nothing to do with, they're not specific to photography, they're just in general, as talking to women about our fear of trying things and being held back, and insecurities and things like that. So she often has times in certain months where she opens up her education for like a week or so, which is for free, so you could watch her and not have to join the membership. So I would encourage anyone who is interested in something like that, and I believe she's even got some videos on YouTube that you could watch. But she is an inspiration. She's an incredible woman, and if you listen to any of her she's also got podcasts or videos. She's just a wealth of positivity and support and inspiration to women. So I would encourage you to check her out, Sue Bryce.
Outstanding. And so the audience does know too, we will make sure and include that in the resource section with your contact information. Oh, all right, milady. It has been a true joy visiting with you today and hearing your Silhouette of Success journey so far. We'll have to probably do a part 2 with you. And keeping our promise to share intentional inspiration with our audience, do you have a piece of key go-to advice that you'd like to share?
Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. If there is something that you are truly passionate about, that you have an ability to do, don't be scared, because the rewards on the other side are huge. So I would encourage anyone to just go for it. If you won't know until you try it. And I would rather, for lack of a better word, fail at trying something that I'm passionate about than being on the fence and then never having tried it and always wondering if I could do it. So that would be what I would advise anyone to do, is just go for it.
Magical words, magical words. Thank you. All right, the stage is still yours. Before we let you go, where can our audience go to find and connect with you on your socials and support your continued success?
You can go to my website, which is annalanier.com. So ANA and then Lanier. You can find me on Instagram under Anna Lanier Portrait. Same on Facebook. And I would love for all of you to follow me and see what I create. And hopefully I would love to have all of you in my studio at some point. My plan or my goal is to photograph as many women as I can and just kind of help you find yourselves.
Oh, yes, indeed. And she can do that. I tell you what. Oh, Anna, thank you once again for sharing your time, your Silhouette of Success journey, and a small portion of your story with us. You are indeed a light and inspiration for us all. So thank you.
Thank you, Amber. I'm honored that you invited me to participate in your podcast. It's wonderful.
Well, it has been a true joy for me as well. All right, my lady. Thank you.
Thank
Until
you.
next time.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Silhouettes of Success podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out and join us for all the new episodes. We are here for you and with you. We encourage you to share this podcast on all your socials and pass on the light to help illuminate another silhouette of success. Amber would love to hear from you, and you can find her on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or head over to amberweitzer.com. Let's connect. Help us all shine and leave us a review too. To find out the latest ways to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, and gain actionable insights, subscribe at amberweitzer.com. We are honored, humbled, and full of joy that you've tuned in. Remember, you are exactly where you need to be, right here with us. This is the Amber Weitzer Podcast, Silhouettes of Success.